right, so I'm going to do another word problem with you guys today, and we are looking at number 14 on the State Study Guide for Unit 1. So as always, when we have a word problem, the first thing we're going to do is read through the problem in its entirety without really doing anything, just to get a handle on what they're asking us to do. So a social media website currently has only 1,000 members. The number of people that join the website triples every month. How long will it take for the website to have at least 1 million members? So I've got a little typo there. We can just cross out. Okay, once we've read through it once and we kind of see what sort of problem this is, the next thing I'm going to do is go through and mark any key numbers and key words. So we know that currently we have 1,000 members, so that's kind of my starting point because that's what's happening right now. The number of people that joins every month triples. That word triples indicates that it is being multiplied by 3 every month. And what they're asking, and this is important, how long will it take for the website to have at least 1 million members? That's our question. So that at least is important because that tells us what kind of inequality or equal sign we're going to have. And then the million is our goal. Okay? Because I have repeated multiplication, because I'm multiplying by 3 every month, this is not going to be a linear equation. So I know that this is going to be exponential because I have repeated multiplication, and that's when exponential functions come up. All right? So the next thing I'm going to do is define the variable. The only thing that I need to worry about in this case is the amount of time that's going by. So x is going to be the number of months that has gone by. Right? I know it's been a while, but if you'll think back to exponential equations, they're always in this format. A times b to the x equals your output, equals your y. A is your starting value. We have a starting value here. That's 1,000. So my current number of members is my starting number of members, and that's 1,000. I'm going to multiply that by b. The base of your exponent is your growth factor. It's how much it's changing with every iteration of this function. So that is going to come from our word triples, which means the base of my exponent is 3. X is my input, so that's how many months have gone by. In this case, we know that our output, we're looking for 1 million members. And what goes right here could be an equal sign, could be an inequality. In this case, because it says at least, that means we want the number of members to be greater than or equal to 1 million. All right, to solve this, now I'm ready to start making a plan for solving and checking it. So to solve it, I'm going to start, I've got a multiplication here that I can undo. I'm actually going to pull up another sheet of paper to give myself more space. Always okay to pull out scratch paper. So this is what I've got so far. I have 1,000 times 3 to the x is greater than or equal to 1 million. Okay? I'm going to start then by getting rid of this multiplication here because I know how to do that. Okay? So that means I'm going to divide on both sides of my equation by 1,000. That leaves me with 3 to the x here is greater than or equal to 1 million divided by 1,000 is 1,000. All right, so we haven't really talked about how to solve a function that looks like this or an equation that looks like this very much. So what you're going to do then is basically guess and check. If you think about what 3 to the 0 would be, anything to the 0 power is just 1. So we know 0 months isn't going to do it, which makes sense, right? 3 to the first power would be 3, and I'm just going to keep working through that. 3 to the second power means 3 times 3 is 9. 3 to the fourth would be 81, and you can plug this in your calculator. And you can even, if you realize that it's not quite growing fast enough, you can always skip over, but be careful because we know that exponential functions grow very quickly. All right, 3 to the sixth power I'll just show you in case you don't remember how to put this in your calculator. 3 to the 6th power, you would type 3, and then this little caret right here opens up an exponent, and then you would say to the 6th, and it tells us 729. So we're getting closer to that 1,000 that we're looking for. Probably the next one's going to do it. 3 to the 7th power would be 3, and then I hit that caret again to the 7th, and that is 2,187. Because I have now gotten over that 1,000, that means if we go back into our original function, remember, the last step to solving an equation or to solving a word problem is always to go back and check to make sure it really does work. So if we go back into our original equation that we wrote, or inequality, and we plug in 7 for that input, then what we end up with is, first we do our exponents because we're following that order of operations. We already know that 3 to the 7th is 2,187. So 2,187. And then we do that multiplication. So 2,187 times 1,000 is 2,187,000, which is greater than 1 million. So that means it's correct, and that means I can go back over to my original question and say the answer to this question: how long will it take for the website to have at least 1 million members? 7 months. Box it in and move on to the next problem.